What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So, in this video, this is breaking news. This is breaking news. Um, breaking information straight off the presses, from True Social. We're going to be talking about Trump's very recent post today about the wonderful Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary, and all the praises that he gave to him. And we're going to talk about who Viktor Orban is and why, again, in this laundry list of leaders that Trump has been praising over and over and over again, shows exactly who Trump is. Thank you very much for joining me here on Clear Talk. If you are new, welcome. If you'd like to check out more from the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all the good stuff to get more videos in front of more people. If you would like to check out all my other channels, JMDPLAY, JMD Puzzling, if you see what you like what you see there, subscribe to those as well. Help those channels out. It'd be amazing. Like, share, comment. Comments are the biggest thing. Like, comment like crazy, helps get the videos going through the algorithm a lot faster to a lot more people. Huge, it's gold for YouTube. Patreon there. It doesn't matter if you know, or if it's a good comment or a bad comment. Either way, I'll engage with it. Patreon there. $3 a month. You help support any of the channels that you would like to help grow those channels, help grow Patreon, to help grow JMD Nation. Contribute however you like. Any contribution support you give is very much appreciated. I thank you very, very much. And if you're returning, you're freaking amazing. Thank you very much. Keep coming back over and over again, because you are what makes JMD Nation. So, all right, we're going to swap over here. We have this True Social post. I mean, I was going to talk. I had several things lined up today that I was trying to pick through to decide on what to talk about. And we've already done a couple. Well, we've done one video. The other video that I released today was actually a video from yesterday, but I had to do some editing to it because of some audio issues. But anyways, check those out though. But yeah, I had okay, I was going to talk about the fact that they're shutting down operations in Minneapolis, the withdrawing of national troops across the country. Those are things that could be talked about, and I'll probably still going to talk about that at some point. There's also Trump threatening, the House Republicans that voted against his Canadian tariffs. Trump is a big bully. I was going to do a bully video because also, they fired a federal prosecutor within hours of him being sworn in. Why? It's because Trump didn't appoint him. Trump didn't appoint him. That's why. It's so fucking petty. It's so petty. And then also the fact that the Trump administration is stripping citizenship from foreign-born Americans. It's going beyond it. They are bound and determined to just fucking it's all a part of we don't want immigration here. We don't want immigrants here. We don't want, or what they consider as immigrants. And that's going to be even a part of the topic for today, which is again on this Viktor Orban. Okay. Here we have Trump. This is a post. Okay, literally just 4 hours ago. 4 hours ago, all right? With this nice picture of him with Viktor here. I mean, he has had so many leaders from these whacked out countries, leaders that are known to be horrible leaders. And Viktor Orban is, arguably at the top of that list. Here's Donald Trump. Highly respected Prime Minister of Hungary, Viktor Orban is a truly strong and powerful leader with a proven track record of delivering phenomenal results. He fights tirelessly for and loves his great country and people, just like I do for the United States of America. Viktor works hard to protect Hungary grow the economy, create jobs, promotes trade, stop illegal immigration, and ensure law and order. Relations between Hungary and the United States have reached new heights. I mean, they're so incredible, such incredible heights of cooperation and spectacular achievement under my administration. Thanks largely to Prime Minister Orban. Ooh, I love him so much. I look forward to continuing working closely with him so that both our countries can further advance this tremendous path of success and cooperation. I was proud to endorse Viktor for re-election in 2022, and I'm honored to do so again. Viktor Orban is a true friend, fighter, and winner, chicken dinner, and has my complete and total endorsement for re-election as Prime Minister of Hungary. He will never let the good, great people of Hungary down. Donald J. Trump out. I mean, this is, I'm sorry if that, this is like, all over Viktor Orban, okay? I mean, this is wild. This is wild. He's such a great, Viktor Orban is such a great guy, and he's loved by so many people. He's wonderful man, making Hungary great again. Well, who the fuck is Viktor Orban? Who is he? Well, let's check out Wikipedia. I think it's great. I think we can get a whole bunch of information here. All right. Viktor Orban is a Hungarian lawyer and politician who has been the 56th Prime Minister of Hungary since 2010. 2010. Okay, 16 years. And this is his second time as leader. Previously holding the office from 98 to 2002, he has also led the Fidesz political party since 2003, and previously from 93 to 2000. He was reelected as prime minister in 14, 18, and 22, and has become the country's longest-serving prime minister. Orban was first elected to the National Assembly in 1990. His first term as prime minister and head of the conservative coalition government from 98 to 2000, inflation and the fiscal deficit shrank, and Hungary joined NATO. After losing re-election, however, Orban led the opposition party from 2002 to 2010. Since 2010, he has reassumed office. Hungary has experienced democratic backsliding. Okay. This is his second. The first term was like, oh yeah, he's wasn't doing too bad. I guess he's not so bad. His second time in, the parallels of this guy with Trump, I'm telling you, it's incredible. Has experienced democratic backsliding, weakened judicial independence, increased corruption, and curtailed press freedom. During his second premiership, which is also known as the Orban regime, several controversial constitutional and legislative reforms were made, including the 2013 amendments to the Constitution of Hungary. He is strongly critical of the European Union, leading to accusations that his government is a kleptocracy. It has also been criticized as a hybrid regime, dominant party system, and mafia state. All right? Wow. All right. Let's continue. In March 2019, Fidesz was suspended from the EU's Christian Democratic Party, the European People's Party. In March 2021, Fidesz left the EPP over a dispute over new rule of law language in the latter's bylaws. While shifting Hungarian towards what he called an illiberal democracy, That's an interesting one, is a governing system that hides its non-democratic practices behind formally democratic institutions and procedures. Holy fucking shit. That's what he calls it. An illiberal democracy. A governing system that, quote, hides its non-democratic practices behind formally democratic institutions and procedures. While there is no universal consensus on its precise definition, the term broadly describes governments that present themselves as liberal democracies while apparently actually not being that. He has also promoted Euroscepticism, a political position involving criticism of the European Union and the European integration. It ranges from those who oppose to policy seeking reform to those who oppose EU membership and so on. I don't know. Opposition to liberal democracy and the establishment of closer ties with China, Russia, and Turkey. China, Russia, and Turkey, establishing closer ties. Well, that's what the U.S. wants to hear, right? Whew. It's great. It's great. It's great. All right. We're going to skip down a little bit here. We're not really worried about his first stuff. Not worried about his opposition. Second government. Nope. Third government. Fourth government. Where's my next section that I wanted to go over? Oh yeah. He's been a huge supporter of Israel, and you will see that as we talk here. The Hungarian government expressed support for Israel in the Gaza war, stated Israel has the right to defend itself, and we will not allow sympathy rallies supporting terrorist organizations. On 2020 October, the Fidesz parliamentary leader, Coxus announced that the party will introduce a manifesto before the parliament condemning Hamas terrorism. Prime Minister Netanyahu visited Budapest despite the ICC's arrest warrant for Netanyahu for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity on the Strip. Yeah, he's politically biased to him. His views. Orban blends a soft Euro-skepticism, populism, and national conservatism. Has seen him compared to politicians and political parties as diverse as Jaroslaw, I don't know, Kazik, fuck me, whatever that is. Law and Justice, Silvio Berlusconi, Berlusconi, Forza Italia, whatever, you see this. The National Rally, Donald Trump's in there. Vladimir Putin is in there. Orban has sought to make Hungary an ideological center for an international conservative movement. According to Politico, Orban's political philosophy echoes the resentments of what were once the peasants and working class by promoting an uncompromising defense of national sovereignty and a transparent distrust of Europe's ruling establishment. He frequently emphasizes the importance of Christianity, although he and the overwhelming majority of Hungarians do not attend church regularly. His authoritarian appeal to global conservatives has been summarized by Lawrence Stokes as, I alone, listen to this, I alone can save you from ravages of Islamism and totalitarian progressivism, and in the face of all that, who has time for checks and balances and rules? I'm going to save you from all these bad things. And because of all that, the checks and balances and rules and shit, how important are they really? He's criticized the EU, comparing it to forces that have occupied Hungarian throughout history. Orban's close relationships with Prime Minister Netanyahu, having known him for decades, he describes him as one of Mr. Netanyahu's closest allies in Europe. Orban received personal advice in economic reforms from Netanyahu, while the latter was finance minister of Israel. And Netanyahu thanked Orban for deciding to extend the embassy of Hungary in Israel to Jerusalem. Where was the next section? Orban's second and third premierships have been subject of significant international controversy, and reception of his political views is mixed. The 2011 constitutional changes enacted under his leadership were in particular accused of centralizing legislative and executive power. Centralizing legislative and executive power. Curbing civil liberties. Sounds familiar? Restricting freedom of speech. Sounds familiar? And weakening the constitutional court and judiciary. That sounds fucking familiar. For these reasons, critics have described him as an irredentist, which is one's state desire to annex the territory of another state. This desire can be motivated by ethnic reasons because the population of territory is ethnically similar to or the same as the population of the parent state. A desire to annex the territory of another state. Well, what's Trump been trying to do? That's interesting. A right-wing populist, an authoritarian, far-right, fascist, autocrat, Putinist, strongman, and dictator. Well, fuck. The European, is that one I wanted to go over? Orban has promoted the Great Replacement conspiracy theory. You know, that one where, you have, he's very anti-immigrant. Don't want immigrants in Hungary because it will replace our natural-born Hungarians. Okay. In a 2018 speech, he stated, "I think there are many people who would like to see the end of Christian Europe. And they believe that if they replace its cultural subsoil, if they bring in millions of people from new ethnic groups that were not rooted in Christian culture, then they will transform Europe according to their conception." During a press conference in 2019, Orban praised Brazil, then President Jair Bolsonaro, saying that currently the most inapt definition of modern Christian democracy can be found in Brazil, not in Europe. United States. Orban often attacks the administration of Presidents Barack Obama and Joe Biden, particularly for their supposed pro-immigration policies, even though they deported more immigrants than Trump has basically combined in his 2 terms so far. I mean, Obama was known as the deporter-in-chief. I mean, the argument around Joe Biden and Obama being so pro-immigration, their administrations, the Democratic Party is more pro, like, allowing a pathway for immigrants, because and they are pro-immigrant in the way that immigrants do help our economy and help our cultural, growth and I mean all around, help tax revenue, bring down the deficit all the way. I mean they do all of that. Okay, regardless of what the Republican Party tries to propagate to you. Okay, but nevertheless, some analysis argue that Orban's attack on the U.S. is partly political theater for his domestic voters. Let's see here. Domestic policy. They very much, and this boils down to national conservatism around the Christian, like, and what we've even seen here in the United States, this promotion of the nuclear family and, anti-abortion, wanting to, make sure the population increases. Natural born citizens don't want immigrants coming in. It's a whole thing about growing what is considered homegrown children, and promoting people to have multiple children and giving them basically incentives to do so. Viktor Orban's domestic policy agenda has placed emphasis on cultural conservatism, especially through pro-natalist policies designed to encourage family formation and reduce immigration. University graduates who have or adopt children within 2 years. That adopt thing there, that's about like, hey, don't have abortions, have your children, and then just put them for adoption if you don't want them. That's that idea. Who have or adopt children within 2 years of graduation receive partial or full forgiveness of their student loans, including a full write-off of their student loans if they have 3 or more children. Hungarian women who have 4 or more children are eligible for full income tax exemption for life. Bro. Married couples are eligible for low fixed-rate mortgages on a house with additional financial support through family housing benefits, as well as subsidies for the purchase of 7-seat cars for families with 3 or more children, and financial support for child care. In support of these policies, Orban stated in 2019, for the West, the answer is immigration. For every missing child, there should be one coming in, and then the numbers will be fine. In like the conversation of like population and how population fluctuations affect the economy and the growth of the economy and stuff like that. Like when if for instance, for like in the United States, our birth rates have been decreasing quite a bit over the couple of decades. But as long as the idea here, he's making the argument for the West, it's like just allow immigrants in, and that the numbers will equal out. What we need for the workforce and stuff like that will be fine, because immigrants are coming in and they'll take over that. If people don't want to have babies or have fewer babies, then that's fine. But he has a problem with this. He has a problem with that because he, again, believes in the, replacement theory shit. And so, and he doesn't agree that immigrants, he wants a, a full bred, basically. He wants a full bred Hungarian society. But we do not need numbers. We need Hungarian children. The government has always tightened legal regulations to access to abortion, including requiring pregnant women to listen to the heartbeat of the fetus prior to an abortion being approved by a doctor. The number of abortions procured in Hungary between 2010 and 2023 fell almost 45%, from 44.8 per 100 live births to 2010 to 24.8 per 100 in 2023. That is wild. That is wild. Democratic backsliding, corruption, and authoritarianism. According to Transparency International, Hungary has the most corrupt country in the European Union in 2023. The most corrupt. Between 2010 and 2020, Hungary dropped 69 places in the Press Freedom Index. Okay, and this is the index annual rank of 180 countries compiled and published by Reporters Without Borders since 2002, based upon the assessment of the non-governmental organization as well as surveys of professionals around the world. And the free press freedom records, so the freedom of the press. Okay. They have dropped 69 places in the Press Freedom Index and lost 11 places in the Democracy Index, and deteriorated 16 places in the Corruption Perceptions Index. 2019, Freedom House downgraded the country from free to partly free. The VDEM democracy indices rank Hungarian in 2021 as 96th in its electoral democracy index that measures whether elections were free and fair, as well as the prevalence of a free and independent media, sitting between Benin and Malaysia. Additionally, Freedom House's Nations in Transit 2020 report reclassified Hungary from a democracy to a transitional or hybrid regime. Furthermore, in 2022, the European Parliament stated that Hungary can no longer be considered a full democracy and the country has become an electoral autocracy. This is what we're talking about here. Anti-LGBT policies. Since his election in 2010, Orban has led initiatives and laws to limit LGBT plus rights. His government ended legal recognition of transgender people, receiving criticism both from Hungary and abroad. In Hungary and abroad. His party proposed new legislation to censor any LGBT plus positive content in movies, books, or public advertisements, and to severely restrict sex education in school, forbidding any information thought to encourage gender change or homosexuality. The law has been likened to Russia's restriction on homosexual propaganda. German Chancellor Angela Merkel and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, this chick is really cool, actually, harshly criticized the law, while a letter from 16 EU leaders, including Pedro Sanchez and Mario Draghi, maybe? I think that's what it is. No. Warned against threats against fundamental rights and in particular the principle of non-discrimination on grounds of sexual orientation. So yeah, he doesn't like LGBT plus rights whatsoever. Green transition and climate change. When U.S. President Donald Trump decided to withdraw from the Paris Agreement and climate change in 2017, Orban stated, "In Hungary, there is a consensus that climate change is real, but it is dangerous, and since it is a global phenomenon, it requires global action to combat it." In 2021, Orban warned that the European Commission's plan Fit for 55 climate package and the resulting high energy price would destroy Europe's middle class, saying that those responsible for sky-high electricity and gas prices are endangering European democracy. He called the European Union's climate protection plans an utopian fantasy. He expressed support for the green transition, but criticized the way it was implemented by the current Brussels elite. So at least, yeah, I guess in that way, he's not as crazy as Donald Trump, which doesn't bode well for us. Yeah, I mean, it's just on and on and on and on and on and on and on. On and on and on and on. This guy is not. I mean, and this President Trump, he's so amazing. He's so amazing. So for the people of Hungary. But under his leadership, there has been more and more backsliding on democracy, more and more corruption, authoritarianism, the questioning of free and fair elections, curtailing the press and the judicial system. Even right here. As part of a drive to re-Christianize the country, his government has privatized many previously state-run schools and enlisted Christian churches to provide education, introducing religious classes into a national education curriculum, and provided financial support to more Christian schools. The country's kindergarten curriculum was amended to promote national identity, Christian cultural values, patriotism, attachment to homeland and family in fucking kindergarten. If that's not grooming, I don't know what the fuck you call that. Grooming 5-year-olds, 4 and 5-year-olds. I assume that's their kindergarten level. I don't know. But 4 and 5-year-olds, possibly, as nationalists, Christian nationalists at that. Between 2010 and 2018, the number of Catholic schools increased from 9.4% to 18%. The government has created the Center of Foundational Rights in 2013, who described their mission as preserving national identity, sovereignty, and Christian social traditions. In 2019, the government passed a law taking control of Hungary Academy of Science, which is Hungary's foremost and most prestigious learned society. Its headquarters is located among the banks of the Danube, or Danube, I don't know, in Budapest. Academy of Sciences. They passed a law to take control of it. The government. So government-controlled education. Higher education at that, with privatization of schools, support for religious schools, like additional, like providing like additional financial support for them. And promoting kindergarten curriculum for national identity, Christian cultural values, patriotism, and attachment to homeland and family. I could go on here. The lay professor of economics at Harvard University described the evolution of the Hungarian state during Orban's second premiership as having taken a U-turn away from the aim of becoming a market economy based on the rule of law and private ownership, and instead beginning the systematic destruction of the fundamental institutions of democracy. In her 2015 article on Orban's illiberal democracy, Abby Inez, associate professor of political economy at the London School of Economics, simply stated that Hungary can no longer be ranked a democratic country. Former Minister of Education Balint Magyar, has stated that elections in Hungary under Orban are undemocratic and free but not fair due to gerrymandering, large-scale control over the media, and suspect funding for political campaigns. Hungarian political scientist András Korosi, using Max Weber's classification, argues that Orban's rule cannot be described simply by the notions of authoritarianism or illiberalism. He stressed out that the Orban regime can be characterized as plebiscitary. Whoa, what is that? Plebiscitary. A referendum or ballot measure is a direct vote for the electorate on a proposed law or political issue. characterize leadership democracy instead. In addition, extensive research has been conducted to describe the idea of a national sovereign Burgess, Hungary, stated as the goal of Orban's rule, is in fact a political product of a post-communist mafia state serving to obscure massive corruption and transfers of wealth to those with the right connections. And this is a Hungarian political scientist. And there's a saying. There's a saying that you are who, I might be jacking this up. You are who, the company you keep. And it is becoming more and more blatantly clear when it comes to Trump, the kind of people that he associates himself with, that he praises over and over again, like Saudi Arabia's leader, or when he's working with El Salvador's leader for the CCOT, or working with the new leader of Syria that used to be, with Al Qaeda or ISIS, that we used to fight against, a guy that used to, we considered a terrorist. And he was invited to fucking Washington. This guy in Hungary. When you are pardoning the drug lord, basically, of Honduras not too long ago, because he was, indicted under the Biden administration for drugs coming into the U.S. from Honduras, but Trump pardoned him. At the same time, we're blowing up ships illegally in the Caribbean. This kind of stuff. When you are pardoning criminals all day long and you are putting yourself and praising and inviting some of the most horrible leaders to Washington, and leaders that we are allies with, you invite to Washington and damn near disgrace them, or try to pick a fight with them. It just tells you, if it's not a revelation of what this guy is and what he represents, and this guy, Trump and his administration, there have been some who have compared Trump to Viktor Orban. The things that they are doing here in the United States are very parallel to what Viktor Orban has done in Hungary. The kinds of things that have given him, the names, the titles of being, right wing, right-wing populist, authoritarian, far-right, fascist, autocrat, Putinist, strongman, and dictator, and irredentist. The annexing of territory of another state kind of person. Imperialist. The Great Replacement theory. illiberal democracy. And this guy is who Trump is praising here as, doing so great for the Hungarian people. Would you want to live in Hungary? I mean, don't get me wrong. Hungary has some beautiful places. But would you want to live there? Knowing the type of leadership, knowing the rights that are being stripped away from people, the democracy being completely diminished, judicial system being curtailed, the press not having freedom, elections becoming less and less fair, more and more controlled by the government. Education being privatized and government controlled, like on a very different level. Nationalism being promoted to kindergartners. Because these are the types of actions that Trump is praising as great for the Hungarian people. The type of actions that Trump is little by little enacting here in the United States. I'm just saying. You are the company you keep. And Trump keeps some really fucking twisted company. Whether it be corrupt, authoritarian leaders, or Epstein-like friends. Again, at this point, if you continue to support this man, I don't know what to say about you anymore. You've lost the plot. You've lost the plot. You are at this point the most un-American Americans. And I know there's a joke, the running joke, although they probably don't think it's a joke, but the running joke that, anyone who doesn't, support Trump is, hates America. I'm sorry, but you're the ones that clearly hate America. Continuing to support and allow Trump as our leader and allowing him to invoke the policies that they are doing and stuff that they're doing, you clearly are the ones that actually hate America. It's a disgrace. It's an embarrassment. We are losing our political importance on the international stage. We literally are the laughingstock of the world right now. And while I think that the majority of the world still understands and does, understand the nuance that Trump does not represent most of America. The fact that there is not as much pushback on Trump. Unfortunately, is kind of telling. The fact that to this day, there are still the amount of people that support him blindly, foolishly, delusionally, ignorantly, or actually purposely. Speaks a lot. But yeah, that's Viktor Orban, and that is the company that Trump praises. But let me know what you think. Do further investigation. Look into them more. But let me know what you think. Until next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.